it's Ty with Ty the Dog Hour on the Daily, and I want to talk about house training, house breaking, however you want to call it, potty training, all that stuff that we want to do with our dogs. And I was thinking about it the other day. Now, I've thought about this a bunch of times, but it kind of hit me the other day, and I thought I'd share it here on one of my podcasts/vlogs. With house training, there's nothing to practice. I mean, there really isn't. Because someone called the other day, and as many of you know, we have a dog training center here in Salt Lake City, and we do our training at that center, and someone called and said, well, I really need you to come to my house because we need a house trainer dog. And, I was explaining to them, well, sorry, we don't, we just do training at our training center. But as I was talking to them, I realized we don't need to come to your house. I've house trained hundreds of dogs without ever once seeing the house. And the reason why is there's nothing to practice. Like we can practice sit, we can practice down, we can practice coming when called, we can practice not jumping, we can practice, not nipping and all these other, behavior problems or good behaviors. We can practice all of those. But when it comes to house training, there's nothing to practice. There's really only 4 components. There's supervision is number 1. You don't need to practice that, just supervise your dog. Now, what we typically do is we keep the dog on a leash, inside the house for the first X period of time. That just depends on the dog. It might be a few weeks, might be a few months. We keep the dog on a leash to supervise it. You don't need to practice. There's no practicing that. In a training session, it's not like we put the leash on and say, all right, practice being on a leash. No, we don't need to do that. The second part is praising the dog properly when he goes to the bathroom outside. That's the second part of the house training formula. We don't need to practice that. That's easy as pie. The dog goes to the bathroom. Good boy. Here's a treat. Good girl. Here's a treat. Very simple. The third part is the opposite. We need to correct the dog for going to the bathroom in the house. And there's no way to practice that unless we sit there and watch the dog until he finally goes to the bathroom in the house. We don't want to do that. We want to set the dog up for success. But if the dog goes to the bathroom in the house, we want to correct it. And then the fourth part is keeping a routine, to a degree. We want, to be on a food routine. We want to be on a potty routine. And there's nothing to practice there. Now, I've just outlined this house training formula that I've used literally, that has been used literally for thousands of dogs because in our business, we've worked with thousands, but also, our training programs, our videos and things have gone out to tens of thousands of people across the world. And I know for a fact that this program, this house training outline, these 4 simple steps works about 99.9% of the time. There's outliers. Maybe the dog is sick, maybe a dog, has some weird problems with crate training, stuff like that. And so there are some outliers, but 99.9% of the time, those 4 things will get your dog house trained. Now, is there value in a dog trainer? Sure, because along the way you might run into problems that we need, that we can help you troubleshoot, but none of them involve practice. None of them involve practice. Practice everything else in your dog's world. Practice the obedience and practice the manners and all that good stuff. Practice doorbell manners. Practice, how to come when called at the park. Practice all that good stuff. But when it comes to house training, there's just nothing to practice.